Welcome to episode 25 of the Fun Dad, Dean and Wife Unfiltered podcast. I am Dean.
And I'm Sarah.
And we have started this podcast to give a true representation of parenting.
We are here to give you unfiltered, realistic discussions about how we are trying to parent our two children, hold down two jobs, keep our house semi-respectable, along with attempting some sort of social life.
So, Happy New Year to our listeners.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year. This is going to be released on the very 1st of January 2025. So Happy New Year.
So hopefully you're not too hungover and you stayed in like boring old us.
Oh yeah, New Year's. We're a bit of an old fogey about New Year's, aren't we? But yeah, there we go. Well, hope you had a good one anyway.
So today we're going to be wrapping up 2024 with a little review of the year, what went well,
sharing our highs and lows.
What didn't go so well, and then some of our aspirations for 2025.
Yeah, I wonder what this year brings. And I wonder about the whole idea of New Year's resolutions, if people are still going with those. But more importantly, if people stick to them, because I don't think I've ever stuck to a New Year's resolution in my life.
New Year's resolutions are absolute garbage.
Oh.
They are absolute garbage.
I mean, it's nice to try, start the year afresh and give something a go, Dean.
Yeah, no, I set goals. Obviously, I set loads of goals and that, but actual New Year's resolutions don't work, do they?
For you, they do work for some people.
No, I think the success rate is about 15-20%.
How do you know that? Where have you picked that fact from? Out your arse? Where have you picked
because
that from?
I look at loads.
Fucking Billy bullshitter.
No, I'm not. No. Something like New Year's resolutions fail about. I can't remember exactly, but it's about.
Where are you getting this information from?
I watch a lot of stuff on goal setting.
Okay.
So just a quick one on goal setting before we start.
Go on then.
Quarterly goals is the way forward.
Oh, okay.
I just learnt that recently.
Okay.
So what are the goals for the next quarter? Because yearly goals...
Too long.
They're too far in the future. So, like, say if you set a goal for, like, lose a stone in the year, 3 months have gone by and you're like, I've still got 9 months. Whereas if you set a quarterly and you go, I want to do £4 this quarter, you start, you get going, don't you? Those little goals.
Lovely.
So that's what
advice
I'm going to do.
From the life coach.
Just something I've learned. You can do it if you want, but that's what I'll be doing.
But I think it is one of those things with New Year, you do kind of find yourself reflecting on the year that you've just had, haven't you? And for us, I started reflecting on, the podcast journey and what I've enjoyed and what's been really fun. And I started thinking about my favourite podcast episode so far. And it's really lame. But my favourite bit was just one of our podcasts when we talked about at the end choices in music.
I've got dreadful choice in music.
And basically, I just really enjoyed when we were talking about your choice of music, particularly in the gym on that episode, because you were sitting there and you were squirming so bad. And I hate to say it, but I found it hilarious. Just because you've taken the piss out of me on Instagram for like 4 years. And I thought, right, I'm going to get him back here. And I could see you looking at me like, shut up, Sarah. Don't actually tell people. Don't announce it. But if you haven't listened to that episode, basically, Dean's go-to in the gym is Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On.
And Paul Potts.
Paul Potts. I mean, I would just love to be a fly on the wall when you're working out if you accidentally ever just start singing along.
I've been listening. You know that final scene Armageddon? I think I mentioned this actually.
You did mention that.
Final scene Armageddon, like when they come out the plane and they've just saved the world, there's like a background music to that. And I've listened to that. It's like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that.
That is surely is the opposite of what most people are listening to in the gym to, get themselves pumped and motivated.
Ghostbusters is at the moment. Yeah, I've been listening to that on repeat. The Ghostbusters theme tune.
I mean, I was saying...
Sometimes when I'm walking around the gym and because I do weights and stuff.
You walk around...
Do you know what I do? Sometimes I listen to Ghostbusters and I'll be picturing my future. So say
what are you talking about?
One of my things at the minute is us being at the podcast awards and winning number 1.
I can't.
And I'll be listening to Ghostbusters,
so strange.
And I'll be imagining us standing up.
What is he on about? Oh God, what did you take before this podcast this morning?
Don't know, but
But anyway, if you haven't listened to that episode, that is randomly the one I decided was my favourite because it always gives me a laugh.
the best episodes for me, I think, are just. I love having guests on. I've loved having the guests we've had on throughout the year. I'm like quite proud of who we've had on in the first year because it's not easy getting people on. But the favourite ones for me is when it's just me and you. Sometimes we've done a few in the evening. We've had a glass of wine. Not particularly, not saying we're scripted anyway, but they're like less scripted.
Just chatting,
having a laugh.
I think you feel the pressure from the guests more. You get more nervous.
Oh, well nervous.
Yeah.
Well
Whereas
nervous.
I get more excited because I just love hearing what they have to say.
I'm trying to frame it differently in my mind because I'm trying to say, look, go to the episode and just learn something. Don't worry about how it goes. Don't worry about how you're being. Just try and learn something. Whereas I'm like, don't know, just analysing everything as it's going, and I don't feel like I enjoy it enough. I think
the guests we've had as well are genuinely people that we have needed their help. For example, Rosie with the sleep, and then Charlotte with the eating, like the fussy eating one. I mean, that has all that within 10 days, genuinely, of her coming on this podcast, the kids have changed their eating habits. And I was a bit sceptical at first. You know, you have these people on with the experts and the advice, and you think, I don't know if that's going to work, and da-da-da. But actually, you give it a try, and I was amazed. So if there's part of us, you know, part of these podcasts do help some people in some way with an aspect of their parenting, then I'm going to keep going with it.
Oh, no, that's the fulfilling part of it. That is the fulfilling part. I want to offer value in the podcast. Obviously, it's nice to be like entertaining and a bit funny sometimes, but actually having guests on that improve, you know, people's lives makes it more fulfilling to do, doesn't it?
And also, some of them are a little bit of a therapy session for us, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Like sometimes me and you like disagreeing with stuff at home now. I'm like, no, we spoke about this. Act like this. It is. So every time we're speaking, I would say just couples should just set up a podcast at home and just talk to each other, and whether you release it or not would be a good thing.
But I think as well, in this environment, when we're having these discussions, for example, about mental load, or about when I was expressing, obviously, the fact that, I mean, our recent one was, again, even trying to bring it up now, I find it awkward because it was about money. But they're really important to people, and I think if you're not having these discussions with your partner or your friends or your family, sometimes it's just nice to hear that other people are going through the same thing. Because I was absolutely not terrified, that's exaggeration, but I was a bit worried and anxious about the episode where I was talking about how I feel like I've lost my financial independence because, you know, going part-time. I know you're great, and we've had that discussion. You can go back and listen to, you know, the main points within that podcast. But the messages of women who felt exactly the same as me was so reassuring for me that I wasn't alone.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, just that relatable content does make people feel less alone. But also as well, I think you need to offer kind of, how can we get past that? It's obviously talking about it's great, but there's obviously you need to find resolutions.
I don't always have those answers. We're just
we're muddling
through and trying our best.
But anytime we can, or anytime we have a guest who can, because I think next year I'd like to have like a relationship expert on. So if anyone knows of a good relationship expert, not that we necessarily need.
We do need it.
You know, everyone needs a bit of help. I think it would be great to have someone like that on who could tell us where we're going wrong or right. Or a bit of both.
Just give us some advice.
Yeah.
You know, it's just nice to talk through some of your issues sometimes and come to some compromises and reflect.
Yeah,
that's the best thing you can do.
He'll probably come in and go, the best thing for you two is to get divorced.
That is so rude.
I'll be like, well, that's the end of this podcast.
But if you think back, even to episode...
We'll have that as the finale.
But think back to episode 1. You know, the nerves and...
I think that's one thing that I'm starting to learn a lot more in my 30s is you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone all the time. Because at episode 1, we were both shitting ourselves. It was awkward as fuck. Like, I know we talk to each other at home, but actually having mics and having an episode and having a script in a bit, it was like, what the fuck are we doing? And I do remember that episode. The first 10 minutes, I was like, what are we doing? Yeah, I had that feeling like I just want to run out of here. I know I'm just talking to my wife, but like it feels so odd. And now like we're on this is episode 25, and now it feels like we should be doing it. Like it's a weird thing. But episode 1 was by far the worst. We were just like every 5 minutes, we were like, what the fuck are we going to say? And the cut on that was epic to try and make it sound like an actual episode. And now we don't even, there's not much editing going on. So
no, we just come in here and ramble our lives away for a fair bit of time.
But often people say to me, like, oh, you're like good at videos. Like, I'm just not naturally good in front of a camera. I'm like, but I wasn't. I'm not saying I'm great, but I'm not. I was absolutely terrible at the start. But again, it felt uncomfortable. But you just got to, push yourself.
I mean, if you ever want to laugh and you're on TikTok, I'm not actually on TikTok. But
don't watch my first ever videos.
But no, I'm telling you to do it. Go back to Fun Dad Dean on Instagram in 2020.
No, TikTok.
Fun Dad Dean on TikTok from 2020. And sometimes if we want to laugh, just scroll back. They're hilarious. They are absolutely gold.
They are so cringe. I can't believe. But apparently, if you don't,
start somewhere.
If you're not looking back and cringing even a year ago, it means you're not growing enough. So sometimes I look at my videos 2 years ago and I'm like, that was fucking shit. But at the time, I thought it was brilliant. So like, that's just all part of growing in it and pushing yourself out your comfort zone.
Well, we see where we're going to be in another year. But we've talked a lot about the podcast. But is there anything personally that you can reflect on from the last year, I don't know, and say you've enjoyed or say you're proud of? Like, let's celebrate some love on here for once. Go on.
What am I proud of? Well, let's start with you. What are you proud of?
He's putting it back on me. I mean, to be honest with you, I know for some people, this would be their yearly norm. But for me and for you and for our family, our eldest is 10. And for us to go on that all-inclusive holiday was something that I'd been wanting to do for a really long time. And I genuinely feel like I had a break. For those 10 days, I had a break. And if you're avid listeners, you'll know that we love a caravan holiday. Caravan holidays are our vibe. But they're hard work for me. The laundry, the washing, the mess, the cooking, the cleaning, the cramped space. It's not necessarily a stress-free holiday. We're privileged that we get to go and that we have that, place to go with our children. And I love it. But yeah, it was something now I was a bit, I said to Daisy this morning, because I was thinking on the podcast, like, what have I enjoyed this year? I was trying to think in my head what we're going to talk about today. And I said to her, Lanzarote or caravan? You know what she said, don't you?
Lanzarote?
No.
No way.
Yeah, she said the caravan.
I thought you were going to say that. I was about to say that it was great because the kids seem to absolutely love it, and they're like, the next time we are going to do it, they'll know it was in store for them.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, they was a bit like, we don't want to go because it was a bit.
They didn't know what to expect.
They didn't know what to expect, but the next one, we'd be like, look, we're going back on that holiday again. They'll be buzzing about it.
I'll be buzzing. I'll be the one buzzing. I'll be flying to that airport on a magic carpet. I'll be so excited. Yeah, definitely. It was something I'd love to do again. But, yeah. I mean, we're still going to go to the caravan, aren't we? Let's be honest.
I'm absolutely yearning for the caravan now.
Yearning.
I'm absolutely yearning for it. I mean, where are we now? So once we get Christmas out of the way, so our caravan's shut all over winter till the 1st of March. So by about January, February, like by about October, November, you're like, no, I'm a bit done with the caravan now. Like, happy to go into winter. But then by the time it comes
you miss
January,
it, don't you?
Really miss it.
Yeah,
and then
it's like our little happy place.
And then when you turn up in March, it's brilliant. But other things for me, you know what, I loved like taking Daisy to her first football match, because football's a big, massive part of my life, I guess. But it's one of my favourite hobbies. So her being like interested, because obviously I've got 2 girls, and I'm not saying that girls don't play football. I'm not saying that, but obviously if you have boys, it's more likely they're going to be into football. So once you have girls, you're a bit like, I'm not sure they'll like it. But Daisy this year's played for her school. I've been to matches and taken her to a game. So I've loved all that part of it as well.
You can love all of that part of it. All right, you can love cleaning the football boots. You can love standing at the sidelines in the rain.
I've turned into one of those dads because she trains on a Thursday. They train Thursday at school, and I've been going in like 15, 20 minutes early to pick her up to watch the training.
Oh,
get right into it.
That's cute. Does she mind you watching, or is she?
She loves it. When I turn up, it makes her like try a bit harder.
Oh,
because you do, like when you're a kid and your parents are watching, you kind of get a bit of a buzz from that, don't you? I did when I was a kid. when I played golf and my parents used to come and watch the tournaments and stuff. It makes you try harder, definitely. So you should show a bit more interest, definitely, because it's a bit.
Football's just not for me. I don't know. Just never has been. I don't know why.
Also, I feel like I've become a slightly better dad this year and a husband. Do you think? What do you think?
I do actually think that the podcast, without sounding soppy, has helped us in our relationship because first of all, we cover topics and then we talk about them in an environment where we're not distracted by the kids, we're not distracted by the clutter of our home, and we know that we've got kind of like this hour, say, or this hour and a half in the studio to have these conversations. And I do feel like I've got your full attention. And to be honest with you, in real life, when we're at home, when we're in the car, when life evolves and ensues, I don't feel like I have your full attention.
And often, sometimes when you're just in the midst of life and you're like pulling me up on something, so I can be a bit defensive, and I know I do, and I shouldn't. Like this morning, for instance, even this morning, I put the socks away, so I thought I just put some socks away. And you were shouting out, going, "Where have you put these socks?" And I'm like, "Well, I put them all in the right places." I hadn't. I'd put Sarah's like little trainer socks in.
He just got it all wrong. Don't bore people with the type of socks nobody gives a shit.
No, it was boring. But then you were like, and you were like, no, she was like, "No offense, but don't put the socks away again." And I'm like, okay, don't get offended. You're just trying to help. You did cock it up, so just take it. And
I'm sorry. If you're listening and your partner, your daughter, your son, whoever is putting the socks away in your house, because you know they bloody disappear as well. Like you got all these odd socks hanging around everywhere. Imagine the irritation of being with somebody who puts the socks away, first of all, not paired. Second of all,
there weren't any pairs there.
They was in the wrong baskets. And third of all, half the time when you go to put the bloody socks away, you hide them in a suitcase or you just don't put them away.
Fucking pairing socks has got to be the worst
job. He hates it. I actually have to buy the kids so many new pairs of socks. And then a few months ago, we had a suitcase in our room that I had to put in the loft, and I opened it, and I was like, it's full of fucking socks because you couldn't be bothered to pair them and put them away. What a waste of money that was.
Sometimes when I'm gliding, sometimes when I'm tidying our room, I'm okay at putting the clothes away. But when it comes to socks, I'm like, I'll just hide these.
I found bags of socks. I found suitcases of socks. I found socks in the wrong places. I found socks under the bed. I find socks in the pyjama drawers. I'm just like, do you know what? So I said to him really politely this morning, I was like, babe, can you do me a favour? Can you just not put the socks away anymore? Because it's just clearly not something you can do.
My point was from going to this.
Sorry.
My point is, I would normally get a bit offended, be like, "Oh, I'm back in the past." I'd be like, "I won't fucking do anything then," or I'd get defensive, and I'd be like, "I'm only trying to help." Whereas today I was like, "But you did cock it up," so she's going to get annoyed with that. So next time, just don't
hunt the fucking sock every morning. I can't be bothered with the stress.
So overall, I think as a dad though, I feel like I've just been a bit more patient. I know sometimes I'm not, but I feel like overall I'm definitely a little bit more patient.
You're growing, and I think that the advice on this podcast that we get from guests and the reflection that we have has definitely helped that, like 100%. And
even if I do like slightly lose my temper, not a lot, but I do shout or just be stop or no or whatever, I do say to the kids, like, I'm sorry.
You apologise afterwards.
Yeah.
There's no perfect person out there, I can imagine, that at times doesn't lose their shit. It happens, but I think it's about modelling the correct response to that. And it's about saying to the kids or to me or to whoever you lost your temper with, oh, look, I'm really sorry, actually. I feel like I overreacted there and I want to apologise to you. Because it's about that.
Because you know the other night when Ruby really came upstairs and she screamed, she screamed. And I was so overstimulated.
I think she scared you as well.
Yeah, no, I was so like overstimulated. I was like really anxious that night. Just lots were going on and she screamed. And I went, no! Like this. And then I really shouted quite aggressively. And there was like other parents outside. Because they
knocked on the door for our eldest to take her off to the church.
I was like, what have you done? And then I went straight up to Ruby and went, look, you don't scream like that, but I'm sorry I shouted. So I think that's kind of...
Thanks for doing that. You
And...
wouldn't have done that a few years ago, so you are right. Definitely.
Anything else? Anything else from you for this year?
Honestly, It's really sad to say, but it's sad but true. I don't really think I mean, this year, nothing particularly nothing I'm particularly passionate about has happened. Obviously, we've done the podcast. Yep, great. We've talked about that a lot. We went on a holiday. Absolutely incredible. Something that we've never done before. But apart from that, in amongst the trying to keep the kids alive, trying to keep the house tidy, dipping in and out of work, full-time, part-time, full-time, part-time, trying to arrange the holidays, trying to get the clubs done, just that general mum life, trying to make time for you. It's just been a year.
Do you think there's a time for a hobby?
Yeah.
Because I would love for you to have a hobby.
I know. And do you know what? I used to, pre-having children, I really used to enjoy like Zumba, walking, the gym, all those things I did. And I used to be really quite active and I loved it. And I remember at one point I was doing like 3 or 4 Zumba classes a week and I really enjoyed it. And then I think what I need to do in 2025, I know at the start you were saying, oh, New Year's resolutions, fucking load of bollocks and all that, what you were saying. But for me, I think I need a New Year's resolution and I need to share it with you and I need to do that because certainly over the last year, I mean, I'm just going to say it. I've put on a lot of fucking weight. All right? It's happened. I love food. I love drink.
You're not the only one, Di, and I have as well. So
It's something, though, as a couple we enjoy. It's what I enjoy doing with my friends. It's what, after work, I might go out with work colleagues and we're going for dinner. And it's just kind of snowballed and accumulated.
Caravan screws us a bit as well.
Yeah. I feel like I need to get in the mindset that actually... Now that finally in January, I definitely have a job share. Yes, thank you. And I won't be working so much that I need to learn to make time for myself. I will always choose. If I get up in the morning and I think, right, I'm going to have a nice walk today, or I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm whatever. I'm not even a member of a gym. I haven't been a member of a gym. How old am I? I haven't been a member of a gym for about 13 years.
You came with me once.
That's disgusting, isn't it? Anyway, but I haven't. But I like Zumba. Anyway, so I will always make the choice. How do I put this? If I'm at home, I'll always make the choice. I'll just do the washing. I'll just clean the bathroom. I'll just go to Asda. I'll just do this. I'll just do that. And life becomes in the way of me exercising. I never, ever prioritise that and put that first. And I think that in 2025, I would like to make time for me to do that a priority. And if anyone's actually managed to make this work, especially if you're a teacher, knowing the hours that we work, I want to find the time for it. But I don't, bar waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning or working out at 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, at the moment, I don't know how I can fit it in.
I know, but I think it's important too. I feel like if you've got a hobby or got something you're interested in or the gym or whatever, something, I think that will make you happier overall. And I feel like if you're happier at home, you become a better parent. I'm not saying you're a great parent, but if you're happier in yourself, of course, that's going to breed onto the people you're around as well. I'm not saying you're not happy.
Yeah,
but
I'm not.
I was saying like it can only help, and I think it's not gonna. I often say to you, like, because you can go, you have been to classes now and again, but it's only like once a week or whatever.
To be honestly, do you know what my problem is with the classes? And I don't know if women can relate to this. Dean will say to me, go and do the class. So one of them, for example, is on a Sunday morning, I think at 9:15. And the problem with that for me is, it's my bloody hair. Right? I can't go to a gym class or exercise without I'm a sweaty Betty, my hair gets all messed up. I can't do it without having to wash my hair. But that means when I get back, I need to wash my hair, blow dry my hair, redo my makeup, get all ready. So that hour of exercise, what it might be for you, you'll be like, I'm going to the gym. Okay, I go to the gym for an hour, I come back, I have a 5 to 10 minute shower, get out and I'm ready. That's not for me. Just the hour of the class isn't that for me. I need another hour on top of that to get ready. So it's kind of 2 hours out of my day. And when you've got people coming around or you need to do the food shop or the kids have got homework or they've got gymnastics classes or you need to, do some washing or you need to go and meet up with friends that you haven't seen or you're visiting family, I put all those things first over my own desire to exercise.
Yeah.
Because I don't have enough time. Or I perceive I haven't got enough time.
But what could I do then to make? Because what could I do better to give you that time? Because I feel like I do really believe in exercise. Like I still go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, but I feel like if I don't for like a period of time, I'm more anxious, snappy. Like I mainly do it for my mental health rather than my physical appearance now, and I feel like with you, if you just went 2-3 times a week, it would make a difference.
I know, I'd love to.
So maybe I've put on weight in 2014, I was about to say there. 2024, I've put on a few pounds, and I definitely want to, look at my diet and stuff, definitely. So maybe we can look at it together.
Yeah.
But what other goals have you got for 2025? This year.
This is a bit of a serious one, I suppose, but I was thinking about this and it has turned into a bit of a passion of mine. And I think that's partly being a teacher, it's partly the age of our eldest because she's 10. But I want to continue to educate myself on the smartphone and tablet use in children. It's just, it's turned into a little bit of a passion of mine. And I'm just so interested in it, the impact of them. How, and my mission is probably to educate myself along with others on the pros and cons of like smartphones and tablets, and actually how we can protect our children from this bottomless pit of the online world. And the more I research it, the more I look into it, the more I limit it in my own household, and the more I'm saying no, the more positive impacts I'm seeing down the line. And it's a bit of a serious one, but...
I mean, that documentary, that Channel 4 documentary with Matt and Emma Willis, that was absolutely eye-opening.
Yeah.
I mean...
It was... If you haven't watched that programme, go on... I don't know what it is for Channel 4, but whatever it is.
More 4, is it?
I don't know. Yeah, More 4, whatever it is. Go on it, watch this episode. I watched it whilst wrapping the girls' Christmas presents. And... Normally, I wrap the girls' Christmas presents with Christmas music on. Maybe I'm having a glass of wine and I'm doing it in the evening. No, this year I did it in the daytime, I think on like a Thursday afternoon. And I was wrapping their presents and I was watching this documentary and I was sobbing. Like it was so raw. It was so interesting, it was so reflective, it was so informative, and it was so eye-opening. It was one of the best documentaries I've seen in a very long time. And I don't know whether that is because obviously I'm on this journey with it and it's becoming this interest and passion of mine, or because it was just bloody amazing.
Yeah.
The timing of it.
Yeah, because the kids gave their phones up, didn't they? What was it? 3 weeks they gave their phones up at the school?
I think it was a month, wasn't it?
3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they give it up, and
so did Emma and Matt.
Yeah, they gave their phones up, and at the end they got their phone back, and oh my God, they were like, some of them were like so buzzing to get it back, weren't they? It was like, give me my phone. It was a bit, wasn't it?
Well, they did that. They actually did that. They supplied the participants of the study with these kind of monitors. I'm not sure the scientific part of it. Yeah. But again, and I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before when I've done my research, there are links between drug addicts, alcoholism, all those kind of addictions. When you look at their physical impacts, their heart rate, their anxiety, their brain scans, all that kind of thing, and you compare that to a child with increased screen time when you take their tablet, phone or device, whatever away, there are comparisons in their brain. We are addicting our children to screens. And I won't go into it too much more, but, obviously we did that podcast with Smartphone Free Childhood. That was just the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more to delve into it. And I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into that in 2025 as well.
Yeah. Semi-serious goal of mine would be just to have, I think we need to do more date nights. I mean, we do them. We do them, but we don't do them anywhere near enough.
No, it's the babysitting. It's so hard.
I mean, working from home, I work from home like a bit more now, and you're off Thursday, Friday. So often we've gone for a lunch on a Friday.
Well, not often recently.
Not recently, but we were doing that quite a bit. And when we were driving here today, I was like, it'd be quite nice to go for lunch today, because I'm working from home today after this. But yeah, I think just more sort of those, it don't have to be like a whole night out, but just more.
Can't be arsed with that. I need 2 weeks.
I mean,
notice.
I've put down here twice a month, but in my head I was kind of thinking of nights out with them. I just think once a week you go for lunch or go for more of a dinner. Just
But
us.
it's the money as well, Dean. Like, I feel like this year, the cost of living crisis, you know, everyone's felt that pinch. And when you're turning around to me and saying, oh, you know, do you want to go for lunch? All I'm thinking in my head is, well, I could just nip round to the garage and buy stuff to make us a lunch for like 6-7 quid.
But you don't do it. Like, you know, you do it, but then when you come back from, you know, in the house, you're not having that time together. If you actually go out, and I know it costs money, and I know it does, but I think for the long run, for our relationship, it's better. I think we'll be happier. And if you're happier and everything's better, you earn more money anyway. So I feel like if you look at it like that, it's almost an investment. So I know
are you selling me lunch?
I say that about everything. I think things that make me happy are an investment because you earn more money. You will.
Does that mean I've been your best investment?
Yeah. Biggest drain on funds as well. Bloody hell.
Oh, thank you.
Because all my cards have got apps. They come to my phone every time any money's spent. I'm like, bloody hell, what is that?
Don't say that. That links to the podcast we did about money.
Sorry.
And you shouldn't be making your partner feel that way about spending money because it is our money.
Okay. Yeah.
And it has been particularly bad this week. Why you're saying it is because I took the kids to a bloody arcade on Monday. So a few days ago, it's like 4 days ago. And the arcade didn't accept cash anymore. No cash. You had to tap your card.
I wonder why that is, because it will earn a lot more money.
Anyway, you had to tap your card. I only went and bloody lost my card in the arcade, didn't I? Because it was just so, you know what they're like, loud, noisy. The kids were like running everywhere, this. I was like, tap, 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 tap. And I bloody lost it. So I've had to use yours until the new replacement arrives. Nightmare.
Any more goals for 2025?
I don't think so. I think I just really have enjoyed filming the podcast with you. I've really enjoyed spending time with my family, you know, getting stuck into work. I'm really proud of what I do. I do feel like my job, I make a difference. That sounds corny, but I do. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to what 2025 has to offer. I think Dean would like me to do a few more reels on my Instagram and build up my page, but I tried it. Yeah, I don't enjoy
You're good.
it.
You are really good at it, Lara.
Like
I feel like you've got a real natural camera presence. I said this to you before. Like, Sarah done some Facebook posts like ages ago on like some learning stuff, didn't you?
Phonics ones when it was
phonics
lockdown.
learning in lockdown, and literally done 2 videos, and they both went like, I wouldn't say viral, but really, really well. And I was like, carry on doing that. You got a real camera presence, but you seem to not see it. You're like your own worst critic with that thing.
Yeah.
But
I
honestly,
like the podcast.
Take my advice. You're good at it.
I like the podcast because it's predominantly audio. I hate looking at myself on the camera. It's not for me. And do you know what? Yeah. I'll focus on the podcast, but I don't feel like...
I feel like
Instagram's
2025, I want to have more downtime. I feel like this year I just get so stressed about growing the podcast, growing social media, doing my work, and I just get so...
Trying to be a good dad, trying to be a good husband.
From a business sense, I get so unbelievably addicted to it that I just end up after a couple of months feeling like that, I feel like I hate it. You know what I mean? So I want much more downtime, have hobbies. Like obviously I play snooker and stuff now. I've taken that up and I'm starting to get better at that. I want to do a lot more of that in 25. So I'm more balanced. Like I feel like all this work culture is great, but it just puts you out of balance.
You've got to have fun as well, haven't
Got to
you?
have fun. You definitely got to have fun, and going to try and do a lot more of that in 25 because, to be honest, 24 I've enjoyed it, but I've been anxious a lot of the year. I have been. I feel a bit anxious. You know, I want to loosen up a bit more for 25. So that's definitely a goal of mine.
I'll try and help you with that. But I wonder if people listening, maybe you have got your New Year's resolutions. Maybe you disagree with us and you love a New Year's resolution and you can stick to them. What is your New Year's resolution for the year and how are you going to achieve it and stick to it?
And please, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts especially, please leave us a review because it just really helps.
We love reading your reviews. They are so lovely. And you know what? sometimes people actually write the review and then they take the time to message us on Instagram. And I always read you the messages, don't I? And it's so lovely to actually hear that what we do on the podcast is worth it. So
it makes it worthwhile. Hearing from people and them telling us like true how they're feeling about it makes it worthwhile doing it. Like if you weren't getting that feedback, it's like,
what's the point?
Are people actually enjoying this? Like, why are we just coming here and doing this? So all this kind of feedback really helps us improve it as well. Because I don't want to hear negative stuff as well. Like, oh, maybe that episode was a bit, just so.
Yeah, what do you want to hear from us in 2025? What topics would you like to see us cover?
Guests, maybe.
What guests would you like to see us have? We want to hear from you because you guys are the reason we're doing this podcast, along with just some time away from the kids on our own. But we want to hear from you. What guests would you like to see? What topics would you like us to cover?
Hope you have a great 2025 and thank you for listening.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone.